Hi, I'm Frank,
I'm Bobby.
and we're Across the Lines News and Analysis. Before we get started, we'd just like to ask you to please like and subscribe. It really helps us out and helps us to continue doing what we do. But with that said, let's get on to our topic. Now, many of you probably have heard of private prisons. Under Obama, they started scaling them back. And just recently, Jeff Sessions, the current Attorney General, has reversed that. Now, Bobby, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's widely known that private prisons are, it's basically says it in the name. They're for-profit prisons. They thrive on throwing people in jail, which, I'm not essentially for at all. Because, and not just for the fact that they give incentive to the company to throw people in jail, but also because multiple studies have found that private prisons are essentially a lot worse condition-wise than your normal publicly
and not just
operated
for the
prison.
prisoners. Now, we're throwing links in so you can look it up, but obviously you all know how to use Google. But one of the problems with private prisons is there's understaffing, so the guards are actually at more risk in a lot of situations. It's harder to survey the prisoners to keep them from rioting or getting anything dangerous happening with them. And another huge problem, as you mentioned, was there's the incentive for people to get locked up. Not too long ago, there was the Kids for Cash scandal, which involved a judge in Pennsylvania that he got caught even making money off of sending kids to a private prison. He put people in jail for everything from some girl smacked another girl during a schoolyard fight, and he was getting kickbacks from this. And some of them even have quotas that they have, so they need to be filled at a certain amount. Which the reason we should never put people's freedom on the line. Willing to lock people up just so a company could make profit.
No, I agree. Because when you think about it, what is just like any other corporation that's trying to make it, all matters about the bottom line. So you're going to have obvious deficiencies in the system because you're just trying to make, especially a prison, you're trying to make as much money as possible. So you're not going to have the facilities up to the standard of maybe like a publicly operated prison. It's just a typical business model. That's how business works. It doesn't change just because it's a prison and it's supposed to operate one way compared to another.
And the criminal justice system is not supposed to be a business. It's supposed to be a public service, basically, to put dangerous people away and keep the community safe. It should have nothing to do with making people money. But as times have changed, that is apparently what is.
And it's also worth noting that I'm not saying that, Donald Trump has said that he somewhat supports private prisons.
Yes, he has.
But it's worth noting that his stance on immigration can be directly tied to private prisons. Because when a lot of these private prisons throw a lot of these immigrants in jail because they are illegals, or whatever, just because you're cracking down on it, that gives people incentive to throw these immigrants into jail instead of maybe, say, deporting them or doing whatever, some other tactic involved.
Well, I'm not sure how they're going to handle that, because he's also said a lot about just deporting the people instead of keeping them locked up.
No, yeah, there's not, anything that's come out saying how he'll handle it.
What it definitely does affect is, one, the prison guard unions, one of the biggest supporters of continuing the drug war, which is a completely failed policy if you look at any of the data. So this is a big step in regards to keeping that going as is, because as long as there's money in it, they're going to keep lobbying to keep their big money in it for that. And also, I'm sorry about the beep, or computer just got a notification. But aside from that, it's just, in my opinion, it's immoral to lock people, to base laws and base what you lock people up on.
It makes me wonder, does Jeff Sessions really, does he, he obviously knows what he's doing, but I'm saying, does he, understand, the repercussions of this, or does he just not care?
I would hope so. You could go with the explanation that maybe he just really thinks that these work and hasn't looked into any of the research and just stuck in his ways. He's an old dude. Old people tend to get stuck in their ways. Or it could be, now, there's no evidence of this, so I'm not going to say, he gets kickbacks or anything from it, but it could also be just supporting what he looks at is his side. I know they're very pro-police, prison, which, again, I don't know Jeff Sessions. I can't ascribe what his motive is, but it's a very, if you're looking at it data, it's not. I don't see how he could determine that this is a good move in regards of making the criminal justice system more just and more fair.
It's kind of like the
more
same,
profitable, but that's not what it's supposed to be.
It's
about.
kind of like the same aspect as in how there's like private like military groups now, or private like military companies now, like Blackwater. It just gives incentive to throw people in prison, go to war. That just
I think a better comparison would actually be to like the arms companies, military industrial complex.
Yeah.
They make big money off of war. It's whenever there is a profit motive, there are people who will try to make as much of profit.
Yeah,
as
I hate when people
even
try
if it's immoral and exploitative.
I hate when people try and make the argument that just because they're for profit doesn't mean that that's all they're about. Like, okay, that's maybe true, but at the same time, that is a motive, and it's going to factor into any business decision that they make.
Absolutely. And the Kids for Cash scandal, feel free to Google it, is a perfect example of how this can go extremely wrong and become extremely immoral. To the point that they're doing something worse than half the stuff they're locking people in these prisons for. I mean, what do you people think? What's more immoral? Someone sitting there smoking a joint, or someone who's going to intentionally lock up someone for getting in a little schoolyard fight, or something as little as smoking a joint because they're making money off of it? You have to decide.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys,
what
your opinion is on private prisons, because obviously we don't know everything. So
that said, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and as always, leave some comments. We always appreciate feedback so we can improve what we're doing. Thanks for watching. Check back again soon.